What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing some, I guess you could say, talking about data and ways to process data that you get from controllers in this video. And we're going to be going through several different things. There's a few key concepts that you're going to need to understand to really understand what we're trying to do here. And basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to begin by showing you exactly what we're trying to get, because this is something that I've already done. And I wanted to show you guys the process of how we get there. And what we're looking at on screen right now is a central steam plant. We have a few boilers there that produce a very large amount of steam that we use for our buildings. And I want you to pay particular attention to this value right here. What this is the value of steam that this particular boiler is currently producing. You can see that it is a whole lot of steam coming down through there. This is an LBM. It actually needs to be pounds per hour. I have not corrected the state text, but the units of measure, but it's something that I will be doing. But you can see we are producing a lot of steam, and the way that we are getting this number is what I wanted to talk about in this video, because it is a little bit unique. If you guys remember on my channel a while back, I did a video to where I was talking about integrating the control system that you're seeing here, and going through that and all that. And this is basically a continuation of the work that we did there, because when we pull these points in, we don't get what we necessarily expect. This is coming in, it is being translated from Modbus to BACnet. Okay, the control system that is being used by the heat plant communicates using Modbus. However, for our purposes, we need to translate that into BACnet. We have BACnet devices in that building, so we needed to translate that data. And the way that the translation is done is not necessarily done, I guess you could say, smoothly, or it doesn't give us the data that you think you would get. And a lot of that goes back to the manufacturers. All manufacturers do things differently, equipment manufacturers. And this is just one of those examples. Basically, what this device is doing, it is taking an analog signal, and you can have an analog signal be anything, whether it is a 4 to 20 milliamp, a 0 to 10 volts, and so on, and then it is translating it into a digital number. Okay, the controller for this system is taking a 4 to 20 milliamp signal, and it is translating the input that is literally coming from that meter to a range, to a particular range. And that particular range for that input in the Modbus, in that controller, is 0 to 4,000. Okay, so that is, again, I know this is probably going to get a little bit crazy, guys, but just kind of stick with me. Basically, the range of that signal is going to go from 0 to 4,000, or from 4 to 20 milliamps if you were to put a voltmeter on it or whatever. But to keep it a little cleaner, we're going to actually use voltage just for understanding of what we're trying to do in this video. So if we have a 0 volt signal coming into that input on that controller, obviously we're going to have a value of 0 in that Modbus register. If we have a value of 10, again, using hypothetically a 0 to 10 volt signal, at a value of 10, we would then have 4,000 on that Modbus register. Okay, that's how span works, and we're going to look at some more data spanning things coming up here in just a bit. And it's the same with milliamps. There again, it's just whether you're using voltage or milliamps. Hypothetically, anywhere up to 4 milliamps is going to be 0. 20 milliamps is obviously going to be 4,000. If you go in the middle, then you're going to be somewhere in a range of around 2,000 if you cut it in half. If you're using voltage, 5 volts, it's going to be about 2,000. So you kind of get the understanding of that. So that is the first step of the process, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about data spanning. That is basically what's happening in a situation like that. You're taking a data signal, in this case, a voltage signal or milliamp signal and analog signal, and you are spanning that to get a value that you need. And I'm just going to jump over and get a little deeper into the explanation of that before we dive in to get that number that we got. So let's jump over to something else that I want to look at. This is a span block that we are using for calculating the discharge set point on an air handler. What you see here is the inputs that we have for this box. Well, basically what we're doing is we're doing some averaging of heating demands, and if the heating demands reach a certain point, it is going to be spanned to help calculate the discharge temperature set point for this particular air handler. This is one part of the data that we're using here. You can see the average heating demand currently is around 23%. Okay, that is the average heating demand. Our data, we have a couple of variables and we have some constants in here. The heating demand low, the heating demand high. These are basically some of the variables that we are using to help with the calculation. Okay. We also have a minimum and maximum heating set point. For example, if our heating demand is at 0, okay, if we get this, if all of these, if the heat shuts off, if it's summertime or whatever, and these heating demands all go to 0, basically this unit is going to calculate no lower than 62 degrees. Okay, that is the bottom number. Okay, that is as low as it will go. While at the same time, if we go above 50% heating demand, if everything is 50% or above, if the average is, then this system is going to calculate a discharge temperature of 78 degrees. Okay, and if everything is above 50, it's going to go up, calculate to a value of 78, because there again, that's what we are doing. We are taking this input and we are spanning it to a particular value. Okay, that is basically how spanning works. And again, guys, I know that this is something that can get a little bit of confusing. I've been doing this kind of stuff for around a little over 30 years. So trust me, it does get a little bit confusing at times. Calculation of load cells when you get into manufacturing, into industry, and that's something that I had to do quite a bit of years ago. That is, you'll see very similar. You have a 0 and a span that you'll have to go in, and a lot of times on some of those circuit boards, you're doing it with a voltmeter. And spanning your signal using a voltmeter and to the controller and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, that is basically what data spanning is. Taking a particular data point and changing the output based upon that changing of that data point. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, that's all it is. You generate a different value based upon your data input. That's what spanning is. Now, back to what we have here and how this system works. Again, remember what I mentioned about how that Modbus register works. Okay, this is the value we want. We actually want the pounds per hour, which again, ignore this, ignore these units. This is just a simple click that I've just got to correct and I just haven't done it. We want the pounds per hour. As you can see, this boiler is running approximately over 29, almost 30,000 pounds an hour. Okay, how did we get that number? The way we got that number is we took that analog Modbus signal. There again, that analog Modbus signal was being spanned from 0 to 4,000. The way that I know that is simply because that is what the manufacturer told me. The equipment manufacturer told me, this Modbus register, this is your span value. Okay, there again, they made the equipment. Obviously, they're going to know what they set it up to do. Since we are taking that Modbus value and we are translating it to a BACnet value for our purposes, we have got to also look at that data. And I'm going to show you something as far as how it comes in as that data. The translator, the way that they set it up, that's in that proto node, which if you've seen in that other video, you've seen a proto node in there. And there again, this is just how they do it. We don't necessarily always work with the systems we want. We work with the systems we have. That's how we do our job. So our job is to integrate this data. It's to get this into a usable value. And I'm going to show you how that data comes in raw from being translated from Modbus to BACnet. And that's what I'm going to show you in the next screen. If we look here, we see this value here. This is an analog input. This is the analog input that we are looking at for that particular boiler. It says 187 currently. That means absolutely nothing to us, right? If you were to look at that and you say, well, how much steam did that boiler produce? You know, you got your boss calling you. He's wanting a report. How much steam is that boiler producing? We got to track this. I need to know the pounds per hour that that boiler is producing. Okay, how is it doing? If I was to tell him, well, we've got 187, 189, well, he's going to say, well, what does that mean? Obviously, that is not of any usage for what we need. So we need to change this into a usable value, into the data that we see on this screen here. And again, that's where we are going to, again, do some data spanning. Okay. When we're looking at, and this is where it gets kind of crazy, remember, what we have is that initial span of that analog input signal from that sensor, from that power meter, or from that steam meter that's putting out an analog signal that is then being read by the controller. And that controller translates it and spans from 0 to 4,000. If you were to look at the panel on this, you're going to see on the panel there's a little note that says multiply by 10 to get the actual value, which we'll get into that in a bit. That's how they get the Modbus. We're not translating that analog signal directly into BACnet. Okay, we're translating a Modbus signal, a Modbus value into BACnet. So to get that BACnet signal, the data value for BACnet, or that span value, is 0 to 255. Again, that is what the manufacturer has told us about this equipment, and plus you'll see it in a lot of BACnet components. That is what your span is, 0 to 255. Okay, and with that, there again, that Modbus signal is going into that proto node. The proto node, the way that it is configured, then spans that value between 0 and 255. And then that is how we get the number that we see, we had up on screen right here. That is how we get this particular value. Again, that is of no use for our purposes. So what do? That is where we have to do a little bit of data translation. And again, using span block, a little bit of math, this is how we do it. I want you to notice here, here's our value. Okay, we have that 188 currently. That is the value that we are getting from that translator, from that proto node translator into our system. We know that the value, that the span value for the Modbus system is 0 to 4,000. So we have here a signal of 4,000, or we have an input of 4,000. Again, this signal is the range, the maximum range that the Modbus value could be. You know, that input for that Modbus. For BACnet, going through that translator, our maximum signal would be 0 to 255. So 0 to 4,000 for Modbus, 0 to 255 for BACnet. We need to get a little bit of a constant that we can use to multiply our input to be able to get the data that we want. And you can see here, I'm literally just doing a division block. And what that is doing, you know, that's the formula. If you were to take that value, if you needed to know, and the way that we check this, I could walk over to the screen for this system, and I could compare the number that is on the display of the screen of the original equipment that is there measuring and doing everything. I know what that value is. Okay, so that's how I can check my number. That's how I can check my numbers here. So what we are doing is we're taking that input signal that we are getting from that translator. Again, that is a spanned data value from 0 to 255. Since we know that our original span is from 0 to 4,000, we needed to divide to give us our value. And again, guys, I know this sounds a little bit crazy, but if you do this long enough, you will get it, and it will be just very common for you to think of it this way. This is that input. That input value is 190. Once I come in here and I do my math, I get another value. Okay, this is the value of simply dividing that 4,000 by the 255. Again, this is the maximum for the Modbus, the maximum for the BACnet. What is the difference? The difference between those two is this value right here. So I then take my input that I'm getting from the controller, from that translator. I then multiply that input by that value, by that constant value that it gives me. And when I do that, what it does then is it gives me the value of steam production, or at least what it is seeing. Again, if you were to walk over to that system, to the panel, you're going to see on the display that it tells you to multiply this value by 10. This is the value that it spits out. I'm lazy. I don't want to have to multiply that every time I go and pull the data. They want the actual data. Okay, fine. I want to give it to them. I want to save myself some work. Let the computer do the job for you. So what do I do here? That's a value that I need. Okay, I'm going to take that value. I'm going to then multiply that value by that value of 10. And then it's going to give me the total production of that boiler, the total steam production. You can see there 29,000, a little less than 30,000. It's going to fluctuate some, but you can see it. And again, the way I can check my number, if I walk up to that equipment and I look directly on the display for that equipment, this is the number right here that I see. So I know that this is accurate. And you can see here what I've got is I've actually got it in a few places. You know, we got a couple of those boilers there to where we're doing the same thing. Currently, this boiler is not running. From here, I then simply take that value, and I've got it on my graph here. I've got it on my graphics to where I can have it there, have it accessible and all that. And then put it into the energy dashboard, which I've got videos about that on my channel too, so be sure to go over and check those out as well. It's a good way of tracking the data. You know, it's a good, helpful way, especially if you got to do a lot of reporting from it. But guys, I know this can get confusing. Like I say, when you're talking about spanning of values, especially, I mean, it takes a little bit to wrap your head around it, but the more you do it, the more it's going to become second nature, the more you're going to understand it. This is kind of some of that math that you rarely ever use. But guys, I hope this is helpful to you. So if you ever have a system to where you're getting some off the wall number, and you're not really sure why, this might be the reason. If it is something that is being translated from one communication protocol to another, not all manufacturers are going to set things up to spit out what the value you need actually is. That is just an unfortunate reality. So that's when we have to go in and do some type of a data translation similar to what you see here. But guys, hope you liked the video. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to answer what I can down below, or, you know, sometimes I do make other videos just going through questions and answering questions. So be sure to check out those question and answer videos that I do also. Guys, I would appreciate it if you would go down and check out the links below. Help support the channel how you can. If these videos are helpful to you, I would appreciate it. Go pick you up some Blackout coffee. Use my link. Actually get a little bit of a discount. And again, if anything you need to buy from Amazon, just go through one of my links and go to Amazon, pick up whatever you want, and it helps support the channel. Like and share the videos, guys. Take that URL, share it with everybody you know. It helps. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, all that kind of fun stuff, and we'll see you next time.